On Great Escapes, we're going to travel the wilderness on the hunt for unique architectural design.
I'm Colin McAllister.
And I'm Justin Ryan.
We're designers and have travelled the globe renovating houses and adding our own unique flair to other people's homes.
Now, we love the great outdoors and the idea of embracing the wilderness into your home. And in fact, just how far people will go to achieve precisely that.
Building an escape in the woods presents magnificent opportunities for individual design, but also unique challenges to work in harmony with the surroundings.
Add to that an extreme climate, from blistering hot summers to teeth-chattering winters, and these escapes must combine splendour with functionality.
We're going to explore properties that take that challenge head-on as we investigate homes that celebrate the landscape and work with the environment in interesting and distinctive ways.
Now, in this episode, we'll be looking at what architects call scale.
We'll be examining the size and scope of buildings in the relationship with their owners and with the landscape.
What scale people connect with and what makes their home unique.
Architects work with 4 types of scale that range from the very large to the tiniest of spaces, all of them meant to be lived in by people.
At the smallest end of the range is intimate scale.
This treehouse is the perfect example, and so small, in fact, it's hard to believe people actually live there.
This place is off the charts.
In the medium range is human scale, or structures that people relate to comfortably. A great example is this cavernous Scottish Longhouse, whose designer used human scale to make it livable.
You can see why it's called a longhouse. It's incredibly long.
At the very top of the ladder is monumental scale. Think stately homes. These are spaces that are meant to be larger than life. This Georgian farmhouse echoes the idea of monumental scale in the elegant portico and airy rooms.
Now, this is a kitchen.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It's amazing.
Now, when it comes to scale, you don't get much smaller than a treehouse.
Oh, no. You can say that this is the perfect escape. Up in the trees, away from it all.
As long as you're not afraid of heights, Colin.
Tree houses are having a bit of a moment. The drive for less impact on the environment has led some people to dramatically lessen their footprint and go up into the trees. These homes are often no bigger than the average living room. They're the perfect example of what architects call intimate scale.
This treehouse was designed by homeowner Lynn Knowlton as an escape to share with her husband, and it is literally a 5-minute walk away in her backyard.
Whoa! Is that a little wood nymph I see there in the forest? How are you?
Great. How are you?
We're good. All the better for seeing you in this incredible, elevated way of living. This is incredible. And tell us a bit about the background.
Thank you. Well, it's a treehouse. I hope you love it.
It's a treehouse on steroids. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's unlike any treehouse I've ever seen.
We love it. We absolutely love it.
What made you build a treehouse in your garden?
Well, our friend, she had a barn that's local, and we had a tornado come through, and it destroyed her barn. And we built this entire treehouse from that barn.
So that's like next level upcycling.
Totally.
That's so fantastic.
So did you build it for you? Was it for you and your husband?
We built it for our children. Except that we actually ended up loving it way more than the children. We almost never let them in there. We're like, this is like our little getaway, a nice little escape. It just became an adult retreat.
I absolutely love that concept. I mean, so many people travel so far and to get to their special place, yet you've got that in your own garden.
It is. I love it.
For the longest time, there's been a real kind of ambition for people to miniaturize their lifestyle, and scale has become a really, really big word.
Yes.
Small-scale living is something that really appeals to me, and you've taken this small-scale living and made it absolutely perfect. But not only that, you've stacked it up on high heels and hidden it in this tiny cluster of trees in your garden. Now, how big is that?
16 by 20.
OK, so it's a really concise space. But it's so structurally well composed. I like the mix of the painted timber at the bottom level, the barn board in the middle, and then that kind of dark terracotta shade for the shingles on the roof. It really is very visually pleasing. And I bet when you're in there, it feels every bit as good.
It does, it does. Like our plan was to have it so that it kind of mixed in with the natural surroundings. When we first built the treehouse, it was considered playground equipment. We built it so long ago. It was long before it was something that we even considered would be a building. It was just a treehouse for our children. So we built it on all the existing trees right there, and they're all beautifully straight trees, and there was a lot of them. The downfall of that was the strength of a tree is not what they're considered to be structurally sound. So fast forward, many years later, we had to make the treehouse building code structurally sound, had to hire structural engineers, and so we put the posts in. But we made lemonade out of those lemons and made that space into a dining space underneath the treehouse, because oftentimes that's a space that's wasted. So we wanted to have a dining space and a place to lounge.
That's really clever planning, actually, because when your space is small, you've got to make it all work really well on every particular level.
Absolutely.
This place is off the charts.
Oh, my word. Lynn, can we never, ever leave? And I've not even been in yet. Can we stay forever?
Can we take a look inside?
Come on in.
It's like a little perfect, beautiful, rustic jewel box.
When you walk into a place like this, it's like walking into an adventure. It's like becoming part of a secret, a little vacation retreat, and just falling in love.
This feels so clean, like so tranquil. And it's tiny, it's not a big space.
Clearly, Lynn, what you're doing here is you're using every piece of real estate. And when proportions are small, scale is an issue, and you have to address that head on. And walking around, we can see that you're already doing that masterfully.
So glad you guys love it.
Off the chart
It's amazing.
special.
And we're up here in the trees, an incredible view of the forest. And just when you think it couldn't get any higher, there's a staircase. I'm really sorry. So sorry, exactly.
Yeah, please do.
Can I
I gotta get up
do.
here. Oh, wow. Come on.
Is there room for another one, Colin?
Yeah, get up here.
You very carefully occupied the space that you have and made it relevant. And when scale is an issue, the proportion of everything has got to have a relevance. So everything's miniaturized, but by Jove, it's spectacular.
So scale is very important for sustainability. There's no magic number for what's right. It's just figure out what your needs are and build the minimum you need to suit your needs.
Architecturally, this is so rewarding. It's not enormous, but very cleverly, you've packed in lots of function without each of those functions overwhelming the others.
Yeah, you know, the thing about working in a small space is it's nice to take every part and make it different. So, for example, all the windows open differently. One will slide. This one here, I love how it goes up on a rope.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And the structural pieces are mixing the old with the new.
I mean, obviously, when space is limited, you've got to be really creative in the way that you make it work. And you've done that so well, because there's lots of function in what's essentially a small room. Dining space here, wash space over there, living space, bedroom gallery up there. You've got an absolutely gorgeous treehouse.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I think it's time to get out of here, and I know how I'm leaving.
The slide?
Absolutely.
You guys are daring.
Come on, give it a go, Colin.
You ready?
Impressive stuff. Now, I feel like I'm sliding down my own treehouse birthing tunnel. Scale and proportion were obviously critical when putting together a project such as this, because it's small, but within there's space to dine, to recline, to chill with friends.
Small spaces can have huge heart as long as you attend to the small details. And the experience here is like no other space. You know, it is the feel-good factor to the 10th degree. It does have a tangible sense of greatness, of well-being, of escape.
I think it's fair to say that this is a masterful observation of how to plan your space.
We have a lot in common with our next homeowners. They're proudly Scottish, we're proudly Scottish.
And they, just like us, moved to a brand new country that they absolutely love.
And when the opportunity came for them to build a new home in their new place, they decided to go fully traditional.
And build a Scottish longhouse.
Longhouses are one of the earliest man-made shelters. They were a simple design, one long, narrow open room with a fire in the centre. In the winter, the cattle were brought in to share the space and help keep the interior warm.
Longhouses have one other notable feature. They're very large.
Homeowners and builders Scott and Lynn have kept the scale and proportion of the traditional longhouse, affectionately called the coo shed, Scottish for cow.
Well, well, well. What a place. My gosh.
What an amazing, amazing house. It is absolutely massive, isn't it? You know, you see it's a long house and it is properly long.
Tell us about this place, because it's completely spellbinding.
Scottish Longhouse.
Okay.
What can I say? It's all designed from an original Scottish Longhouse. It's 84 foot long in total by 24 foot wide.
So what typifies a Scottish Longhouse?
Scottish Longhouse originated way back. It was one of the first settlements in Scotland where families actually shared the house with cattle. In the wintertime.
Any cows in there?
No, just 2 dogs.
Okay,
No,
just you guys.
Yeah, just us and the dogs.
And it's exactly what it sounds like, isn't it? It's a series of rooms in a row,
Exactly.
creating
Yep.
a long space.
Just a long space.
Looks like a modern version of a typical barn.
And that's probably accentuated by the fact that it's not punctuated by lots of windows.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, keeping with the Longhouse style, there's very little windows to keep the hard weather out and stuff. We get the southeast prevailing winds in the winter time, and it just pounds in here. So in winter, we just close these over.
I mean, the doors are massive. I'd love to see them rolled back, can we?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
That's like a prison. You're not going in, you're not getting out.
No.
That is fantastic. It looks like a proper barn.
When we drove up, we saw a property of considerable scale. What is the square footage?
Square footage is just under 1,900 square foot main level,
Okay.
without the garage.
OK, and have you got a basement as well?
Full finished basement.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? So
yeah.
that's, what, 3,800 square
Yeah,
feet altogether?
yeah, round about
plus
that.
a garage as well.
Come on in, I'll show you around.
Thought you never asked.
Hey.
Oh, hello. Oh, now this is really incredibly bright and fresh. Having been outside and seen that big, dramatic black exterior, the last thing I expected was to come into a big white space with tons of colour.
It's amazing. You know, you can see why it's called a long house. It's incredibly long.
I didn't really know what to expect when I came inside here, so to see this really modern, friendly family home and the big, expansive views, it's knockout. I think the secret of making an old architectural style work is to figure out what you need to do to change it to make it good for the modern day. And the windows are now large in this longhouse rather than small as they would have been, and giving you that fantastic view across the greenery to that century barn.
The history of the Longhouse is basically flipped on its head because the Longhouse was just the shed and it kept all the bad weather out, and now we want to bring the outside in.
The living wall's brilliant.
It's quite the maintenance, to be honest.
Is it really?
It really is.
But well worth it, I'm sure.
It really is. I absolutely love it.
It's all about the outdoors and the inside and that language that exists between both.
It's a good look, isn't it? And, you know, for me, you know, I like it when architecture surprises you. You know, I like to be surprised. So I love the idea that someone gets to the front door and they have this expectation it's going to be dark. Where are the windows? Is it a shed? You know, is it a barn? What's going on here? And then you walk in, you know, and it takes your breath away. You're like, and you got to just take a little second and go, wow.
Everything's very, very deliberate. And there's something fantastic about these massive doors that they're employing for opening up that entryway. That kind of scale that we don't get in a domestic situation, kind of like a barn. But when you get inside, everything's very, very tailored, very particular, and quite luxurious, in fact.
So you've got the living room, you've got the dining room and the kitchen, you've got bedrooms. What's in the basement?
We have a further 2 bedrooms down the stairs, a family bathroom and a full finished rec room and a pretty cool bar.
Oh,
A bar.
okay.
See,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
no Scottish home should be without a bar.
Of course.
Exactly.
Now, you're a builder, so building your own house, was there anything that was a big stumbling block that created problems?
The eaves trough. I had to hide it because I don't want any overhang, right? So as you know, the house is basically like that. So usually, typically, they've got the overhang, they've got the soffit and the fascia and everything. So I had to come up with a design to incorporate the guttering in there, which is it's copper. So it's basically a copper tub welded all together, and all the pipes, all the downpipes are hidden inside the external wall. So the external wall is actually about 13 inches thick. You've got your traditional 6-inch structural wall with all the insulation drywall and everything else. And then there's another 2x6 on the outside of that, which is like a curtain wall, if you like. And then the siding's fixed to that. So that was one of the biggest challenges, was coming up with that design between myself and the designer.
The word is long, isn't it, in this long house? The island's long.
Even the kitchen units are brought out, the uppers are brought out flush with the lowers, just with that clean slit in the wall, and it's all long, it's elongated to tie it all together.
That's a great little trick that you've played there. I think that works really, really well. It's just a great observation of space and proportion because it all balances really well. Everything seems to relate to the next part of the house. And surely that's what good architecture should do, whether it's modern or traditional, making the people that use the home as comfortable as possible. There's a great word in Scottish, and you'll know it. I'm sure most people won't. Coorie. To coorie in, to gather together and to hug. For a really modern building, it's got that kind of comfort factor inside that makes you feel really cosy. And it is a big place, but it's not overpowering. Really good house. The Scottish Longhouse, such a fantastic old world look at architecture.
Isn't it amazing to think that something from history could actually have so much to give us in the 21st century? The idea of gathering, of community, of shared spaces.
There's a resonance to that building that goes beyond bricks and mortar. There's something extra in there. And I think it's a big word to use, but it's soul. I think that house has got real soul, which is quite a feat of achievement for a building that's essentially, in description, a big black box.
I am longing for a longhouse.
Well, you know what they say, don't you? They say that bigger is better.
Ah, but what could be bigger and better than 53 acres of organic farm in the country?
Not much, to be honest, but I'll tell you what, I hope that our owners today don't put us to work in that field.
Well, I think we're going to find out.
Suzanne has created a business out of her lavender crop from which she distills essential oils. And right in the middle of these glorious lavender fields is the main attraction, Suzanne's fantastic Georgian farmhouse.
The Georgian manor house of Lavender Farm imitates the front of a stately home, the hallmark of monumental scale.
Georgian architecture flourished in Britain in the early part of the 18th century and lasted well into the 19th century. It reflected the taste of a growing middle class who wanted to mimic the monumental scale of aristocratic estates.
Georgian architecture became popular all over the English-speaking world because of architectural pattern books that catalogued every type of Georgian style from the very grand to the most humble.
This old Georgian farmhouse has gained 2,000 square feet of living space from a recent addition. The house is 4,600 square feet in total, and Suzanne makes use of every bit of it.
Suzanne, this place is incredible.
It's hard to be in a bad mood when you're surrounded by so much lavender.
What was your inspiration, particularly, to go for a lavender crop?
Just, you know, the therapeutic kind of rhythm to planting something and watching it grow and then using it for something. So, I mean, I've always been inspired to do that.
Yeah, there's so much space. I can only imagine waking up every morning and looking out to your 53 acres.
So has there been a farmhouse on this land for a long time?
Yes, the original part of the house, it was built in 1860. While the stone has been repointed and restored, it's all original and it's stunningly beautiful. And I'd love to show it to you.
Oh, we'd love to have a look.
That'd be great.
Oh, yeah, please. You see, I'm like a little boy in a candy store when I walk into a room like this because it's the perfect observation of old and new. The 1.5-inch floorboards, the wainscot into a third height, that beautiful stone wall behind the fire.
You get this incredible sense of space.
It's actually a really large house now that it's doubled in size with the renovation at 4,600 square feet.
Wow. Why was the square footage and having that scale so important?
I love having a house this big because I have 2 teenage boys.
Okay.
I have extended family that come, sometimes 12 or 14 people that come to the house, and there's space for everybody.
Do you know, the great thing for me is the fact that you've got so many great rooms, and they're massive.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space in every one of the rooms. You've got the same kind of scale and proportion. There's a sense of airiness as you walk through the house because of the size of the room. The original house was quite a bit smaller. So I think large families, they were used to living in smaller quarters than we are here.
We live differently now, don't we? And architecturally, what was in the past doesn't necessarily relate to how you need it to work in the future. What you've done is you've made your design for your life in the present day work within the architectural framework of an old building. And that's no mean task.
You know, it's that great sense of space where you can look through the windows, you see the beautiful countryside around, and it's that wonderful sense of expansion and exposure. It's incredible.
Definitely.
So 19th century stone buildings would have primarily been structurally stone. And Stone inherently is stacked, so all the walls are going to be very big and thick, and all the window openings are going to be relatively small and deep. And we have fairly kind of geometrical layouts of space.
Oh, come on. Now this is a kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, this is not a kitchen. This is the quintessential farmhouse kitchen, and it's massive.
It's amazing. It's big. Having just such an incredible scale, the 6-burner stove, 2 ovens, and being able to really have large groups of family and friends, because I love to cook.
Yeah.
So to have a space that has room for everybody is really cool.
Yeah. You know, that is not just an island. Look at the size of it. It's so large, it should have its own capital city. That is a big, big space.
All good parties happen in the kitchen. So this island in particular is just perfect for that.
Suzanne's Georgian farmhouse does a fantastic job of mimicking a stately home, but she's not stopping there. Suzanne has plans to make her property truly monumental by turning her barn into more living space.
Wow. Just look at this place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scale.
It's just mighty. What kind of condition was this in when you bought it?
It was terrible. I mean, when you stand inside a barn and you see the natural lighting and you get an idea of what the structure's like inside, it's incredible. It's a thing of beauty. But the back here was almost completely blown out. And I had someone come and take a look, and they said, you've got a couple of days to 2 weeks and the entire structure will fall down. So they came in right away, restructured, and actually took 16 feet off where it wasn't structurally sound, and then built the new section. And that will keep the barn upright. They say for another 100 years, but there's a tremendous amount of work left to do in here.
What are your big ambitions for this building?
I've always wanted to have a beautiful, long, rustic harvest table and have friends and family here, and having that experience would be incredible.
It seems like that's the very essence of actually having a property like this. It's about having an idea for the future, but actually having an appreciation of the past.
Definitely. You don't have barns like this that are made anymore, and I think they're historical structures of beauty, and so I decided to go ahead and restore it.
When barns like this were being built, they were built with this natural gapping, which allows the wind to pass through, which means it's not blasted flat and pushed down. So they're actually your friends, all those gaps.
Yeah, yeah, and they're beautiful.
Many people have a dream of escaping to the country, but you've done it to a bigger scale than most people could ever dream.
I did go large.
You bought an amazing, amazing farm. What is it they say, go big or go home? It's 4,600 square feet. That's a big house.
And yet it all feels so cozy and so escapist.
She's made a really huge place feel quite intimate. My favourite aspect, though, without a doubt, is that wonderful stonework. To see architecture and build standards from another era is just wonderful.
Yeah, and a truly unique experience where someone has taken something from the past and brought it kicking and screaming into the 21st century. So, Justin, is size all that it's cracked up to be when it comes to property?
Well, not necessarily, as we've just seen. Very different properties, but each a perfect observation of scale and size and proportion, and how all those factors come together to make a unique lifestyle opportunity for each user.
Intimate, human, and monumental. 3 types of scale, each providing very distinct and individual results.
The Treehouse was perfect proof, you know, that with a small space, you can still make a huge architectural impact.
Now, I like little more than being surprised by the homes that I visit. And when I walked up and saw that huge, big barn exterior with its metal roof and its black siding, I really didn't know what to expect when we walked in the front door. But by Jove, I loved what I found. It kind of felt like going back to the homeland because it felt so personal, so Scottish, and so incredibly livable.
Suzanne's Georgian farmhouse was a question of go large and go home, and such a successful renovation for me. I love it. And just that whole flow between rooms that made it feel positively palatial.
Not to mention her plans for the barn, which pushed the space even further into monumental scale.
So, 3 very different homes, 3 sets of schematic proportions, but the one thing they all shared in common, they're all great escapes.